We got something new in the office today, and we're going to get it out of the box here, see what it looks like. It's a Moza Mini MX, and that is a gimbal stabilizer for a cell phone. So a gimbal, for those that don't know, is a piece of equipment that allows you to mount your camera, whether it's a cell phone or a GoPro or some other kind of camera, in such a way that when you're shooting video, the image stays steady. So essentially, bump the camera, it uses a 3-axis balance system, so you have one here, and one behind the camera. And if you're walking along taking video, it keeps the camera steady. Now, older GoPros and older cell phones notoriously did not have any kind of image stabilization, and there's nothing more annoying than somebody taking a video and then you try to watch it and the thing is bouncing around all over the place and jumping around all over the place. In some cases you can't even watch it. So over the years, these gimbal devices have come down in cost, and the average person can afford one, and it really allows you to make a nice, steady, professional looking video with the image staying nice and steady. And even some of them now, this thing will pan left and right, up and down, and as you move the gimbal around, the image will always stay level. And in this particular unit that we're going to show you, you can isolate an image in the center of the screen, and the gimbal will follow that image and stay and track that image as you move around and move your camera around. So really changed the way that people are making videos themselves these days, and it really makes the videos a lot more pleasing to watch. Amateur videographers notoriously move the camera around too much, and that can be really disconcerting for a viewer. Let's see. Let's slide out like that. Now we got another box. We need our big knife again. Can't open a package on YouTube without a big knife. Let's see. Okay, so we got this flash package. Has a book of instructions that I'm probably going to have to get my magnifying glass out to read. Oh, there's an even smaller book of information. I have no idea. That's so small, I'm not even sure the magnifying glass would pick it up. Oh, we've got a cable here. Looks like USB-C to USB. Must be a charging cable. We have a bag of desiccant. You can Google that if you don't know what that is. And we have a box. Easy open box. Let's see what's in there. Now just pull that out. Okay, in the box we have this neat little tripod gizmo. I think what I've seen, it screws into the bottom of the handle, so that's a nice accessory. And then we have this really nice soft bag. I guess you can put the whole thing in. And last but not least, we have the gimbal itself, and it's all folded up nice and neat, and I suspect that at some point it fits in the bag Nice and neat, yeah, it would. And so, as I remember by watching some information on this, when you unfold it, everything goes clockwise. So I'm not quite sure how that... Okay, if that goes clockwise, and that goes... Well, I can't go that way. I don't know how you get that. I don't know how you get this all out from under itself. Interesting. We may have to read the directions to figure out how to undo it. But it's got a trigger here. Obviously, this is where you screw in the tripod here, or you could actually screw in most anything, I guess, and you could use that as a handle. But I know this other handle comes down that way in some fashion. We're going to have to figure that out. Oh, there we go. Clockwise. Look at that. There we go. Now we're talking. So now the trigger is back here where your finger is, and this guy goes round and round like that. This guy, if we unlock it clockwise, goes like that, and your phone goes on there like that. And let's see, this one unlocks like that, and your phone goes in there. Now I assume that, yeah, you just put your phone in there like that. Well, here's what we've sorted out so far. We did get the thing to work. Charged the battery actually all night, and we've got our little tripod screwed on there on the bottom. It makes a nice stand, and you can see we've got the power on, and we can manually move the phone around. We've got the phone mounted in the camera. Now in this particular situation, the phone I have is quite large and it has a case around it, so this particular mounting mechanism is really not conducive to having a case on your phone, because the let's see if I can pan this around a little bit here. You can see that there's a notch here that's made to come down over the edge of the phone. Well, with the case on there, the cover, the phone sticks out a bit farther and it's a bit fatter, so those jaws, if you want to call them that, don't really come out over the phone. It would have been nice if they'd made that jaw just a bit wider to accommodate having a case on the phone. Of course, it's probably not a good idea to shoot with video with a case on your phone anyway, because it just makes the phone hot, and when the phone gets hot, it will shut off and you will lose your video. So what I've done here is, let's see if I can spin back around, is just to make sure that the phone, or to help make sure that the phone doesn't flip out of there in some unforeseen circumstances, put a large rubber band around the back and around, just as a safety measure to keep, I mean, the phone is in there, but it certainly wouldn't take much of a bump for it to fly out. So hopefully the rubber band will help that. I suppose we could put two on there if one wasn't enough, and there's probably some other way to put some safety measure on there, but I think it's a good idea no matter what. If you're shooting video someplace where there's any kind of a crowd, it'd be very easy for your phone to get jostled out of the bracket and fall on the ground, and that's not good. So there is a software program, a MozaMini, that you download and put it on your phone, and it has a lot of functions that control your phone. I haven't really got to that point yet, so that'll be next, but at least we've figured out how to get the phone mounted in the unit, and it seems to be fairly steady. One of the things that's critical here is you need to really mount the phone in the center of the mounting bracket, but you have to be very careful that you don't cover up your power on button. So that's just one thing that you should be aware of, and there you can kind of see the phone on. But just takes a while to get used to it, so we'll keep working with this and see what we find. We spent a little bit of time with this Mini MX gimbal, and like anything, you're just going to have to work with it and use it and understand how it functions for yourself. Get it out in the field. I think it's a pretty sturdy item. It's got a lot of nice features. You can still buy this version I think for like $60, so it's a real bargain. Don't know how long that deal will be available. The newer version is like $120, and it has a few features that this one doesn't have, but really for double the price, this unit seems to work pretty good. It has a payload of 280 grams and a battery life supposedly of 24 hours, so that's pretty substantial. As an example, this particular phone weighs 196 grams, so well within the payload capacity of the phone. And this particular phone is really on the very large side, and it fits in there and doesn't get tangled up in the mechanism, so that's a good thing. There are a lot of little buttons here that you've got to learn the function of. There's two small buttons here, and essentially once you download the software, the app, and connect your phone to the unit via Bluetooth, you get control over the camera functions in your phone with these buttons on the handle. This particular one does several functions, but one of them is automatic zoom in, and the other one is automatic zoom out, which is really handy. Of course, you have your power off and on button, and then you have your pad button here where you can rotate left and right. And it's for a new person with a gimbal, it's a little disconcerting, because what appears to be when you go left, the phone goes to the right, and when you go to the right, the phone goes to the left. And when you go down, it goes up, and when you go up, it goes down. But what you have to remember is that where the camera lens is going. So if you go to the right, the camera lens is going to the right. And if you go to the left, the camera lens is going to the left. And so it is with up, the camera lens goes up, and the camera lens goes down with down. So that's just something you have to get used to in your head. The other nice thing about this, comes with this tripod accessory, and it really makes it nice to be able to set it right on your desk. Oh, that just went into sleep mode, so we'll just hit the button again and bring it back up. And oh, it's apparently wanting to take a nap. But you can set the unit on your desk if you're doing an interview with someone to shoot across, or if you're doing an interview with yourself, you can set it so that the phone will flip around and you can view yourself, or use the rear-facing camera, whatever, front-facing camera, whatever you want to do. So it really makes a nice unit for that. The real test is getting it out in the field and doing the walk and talk, and see how it works for you. That's the real test. But I think for the cost of this thing, it's a real value. Some final thoughts on the Moza Mini. We did shoot a little footage. Well, I'm going to go over and talk to my friends again today, see if they have anything to say. Not real sure what we'll get here, but Hello. We'll go over and see if he wants to talk. Hey, buddy. What do you have to say for yourself today? Huh? What's going on? Are you going to ignore me like you always do? Huh? Don't have anything to say? Uh-huh. I got a new camera. You want to come see it? Well, you're no fun. Can we go see what the little guy's doing? Huh? You keeping an eye on him? Hey, Sebastian. What's up, buddy? What up? Oh, you gonna hide? Oh man, you're no fun. Oh, there's the big boy. What do you have to say, huh? You want to come over and talk? Do you? Hi. What do you have to say? Do you have a joke? I know. I don't have no carrots either. I know I don't have no carrots. I'll have to send the carrot lady over to see you. Okay? I will. I'll tell her. Do you want some carrots? Okay? All right. And we've also figured out that we could mount this neat little accessory arm here in between the tripod and the base of the unit. So this will allow us to put some additional things, a light or a remote microphone or whatever on there. It also gives us another handle over here, which is kind of interesting. But what I've done is put one of the older phones in here, and you can see, we can get the camera around here, that the camera fits nicely in the jaws. And that's because it's an older phone and a lot thinner than the modern stuff. And that really is my number one concern with this unit, is that the jaws have got to fit your phone, and you got to be comfortable with the idea that your phone is not going to flip out of that jaw. I think they've done a poor job, quite frankly, of designing the jaws and not designing them in such a way that they would fit thicker phones. Now, this is obviously the first version of this unit, so it's 2-3 years old. And there's a new version, the MX2, but from what I see, the jaws are the same. Now, you know, maybe version number 3, the jaws are going to be a little different. But I think if you're interested in buying one of these, you really need to make sure, and this would go for any of these gimbals, or a variety of them on the market, you need to make sure that your phone is going to be held securely in the jaws, because, you know, in this case, it's a $60 item. It's a good value. It's a good deal. It really does what it's supposed to do. But you don't want to have your $1,000, $500, whatever cell phone fall on the ground because your $60, $80, $100 gimbal didn't hang on to it. So it's really something to consider. Beyond all the fancy buttons and gizmos and all the functions, is how well does it hold onto your phone. And unfortunately, I don't know if the designers and the people that market this stuff, if they really think about that very much. So that's my opinion. I think for $60, it's a hell of a deal. And, you know, in this case, I can either use an older phone to video with, which I'd rather not, or I personally will figure out a way to modify the jaws that hold the phone in so that I'm comfortable that the phone's not going to fly out of there. And that's what you got to do. You got to make it work for you.